Hi, it's Glenn McQueenie, and welcome to my 25-minute Success Series podcast. Today, we're just going to go into part two of a great conversation that I had on my last podcast with Dean Jackson. And Dean Jackson's really been a really incredible coach and mentor to me in my life over the last 20 years. And in part two, we're going to be talking about the value of your old leads compared to your new leads. You know, the first one we were talking about the return on the investment of your lead generation and really focusing more on slowing down your lead conversion in order to actually speed up and convert more leads. And we talked a bit about how with Zillow's numbers, basically they were getting 1.4 closed transactions for every 100 leads that they sent to their realtors. And we kind of had this discussion about, well, maybe those numbers aren't exactly correct because it's really all of the equity in your business is just in the follow-up of the lead. And so when they sent those short bursts of leads and only got 1.4 out of 100, I think Dean Jackson was suggesting that it actually should be around 40, 50, or 60% if you're willing to spend the time and convert those leads. And I think with internet lead generation, it's really about, first of all, just funneling your leads. Like, you know, some people are hot leads and they have to buy in the next 90 days. That's about 15% of the population. Then you've got your second bucket, which is warm leads, and they're probably going to be more like the 3 to 9 month zone. And then you've got your cooler leads who are just starting the process, and they're going to be people who will probably buy in, say, 9 to 18 months. And I think what you'll see in this conversation in part two is he's talking about how the value is really in the equity in your business is in the later leads, in your warm and your cool leads, not in your hot leads right now. And so I really encourage you to listen to this and also really make 2018 the year that you focus on the kind of like the long-term focus and building long-term equity in your business, not just the short-term leads that you get every day. The problem with them is, you know, if only 15% of them are going to do something, it's really hard to build a long-term business with such a low number. So here it is, part two with Dean Jackson. I really wanted to maybe just talk about the whole idea of slowing down your lead conversion in order to speed up your lead conversion, if that makes any sense. So what can you say about that? Because I think a lot of people are, you know, it's like if I don't close them right away, that's it, move on, next, like a taxi, where I think it's really about breaking it down to each little step and just going deep and coming from contribution and helping them, and then you'll lead them to their next logical step.
So that's a great way of saying it, slowing down to speed up. So here's the thing. In order for you to actually do business with somebody, they are what I call a 5-star prospect. And that means that they are willing to engage in the dialogue, they're friendly and cooperative, they know what they want, they know when they want it, and they'd like us to help them. That's a 5-star prospect. They have to meet all 5 of those criteria in order to start working with them, right? Now, that they all 5 of them have to be there. Otherwise, you're not gonna. Which one would you give up? You know, you're not gonna have any of them if they don't want to work with you. That's one thing. Mm-hmm. But the reality is that here's the thing: there's nothing you can do to create a 5-star prospect. You can only discover a 5-star prospect. So when somebody raises their hand, they either are or are not a 5-star prospect right now. Mm-hmm. And so the only thing that I focus on is starting at the top with number 1. Are they willing to engage in the dialogue? So that's why what most people do is they get a lead and they start hammering them on why now is the right time to buy, and let's set up an appointment, and let me come on over, or let me, let's come on into the office, let's get you, rates are going up, prices are going up, we don't know what's going to happen, we need to really get you to move right now, right? All of that stuff to close people, convert people. They're using convert as a verb, that they're doing something to convert these people. And what I look at is, let's just look at the actual way that people want to experience this. So if they are a 5-star prospect, if we just send a quick email to them and engage in a dialogue with them, that they'll respond. And if they respond back and forth, then you're now engaged in a friendly and cooperative dialogue where they can tell you what they want, and you can find out when they want it, and then set a prescription for what the next step would be. And if they don't respond initially, then move people into your long-term follow-up program where you are educating and motivating them about the market, giving them updates on what's going on, and giving them the opportunity that whenever they're ready to take the next step, which may be to come to your home buyer workshop, or it may be to come on a tour of homes, or it may be to get a free home loan report. Whatever your options are for people to raise their hand, you're just presenting it to them that way.
And I think that's such a great point, because it's really about a dance, right? It's like it's a slow dance with them, and dancing on how they want to be danced with, in a way, instead of leading by closing. Oh, we got to close. It's kind of like, how about we just engage in a conversation, because the conversation really is the relationship between us, and how I show up and how I come from what can I give instead of what can I take from you, or convert. I love how you use that. Is really the essence, I think, of lead generation. It's leading them through contribution, not closing them because of your selfish need to get a deal in the next week or 5 days, because the market doesn't care about that.
That's exactly right. You're absolutely right.
Right. So what else would you say in our last minute here, Dean, just about on conversion? So they've got to be able to
here's the thing.
willing
So
to engage in conversation.
Here's the two biggest opportunities.
Right.
The two biggest opportunities that I see right now. Number one, you've probably got a collection of leads that didn't convert back months ago, and you've given up on them because you were sort of in that mode of, if they're not going to buy in 30 days, they're fired. Well, let's go back to those people and just send a quick 9-word email and say, hey, Glenn, are you still looking for a house in Georgetown? And find out what happens. See if you can re-engage with some of those people. Then I think the other big opportunity, Glenn, is to quietly, don't tell anybody that you listened to this podcast, but go look around in your world and listen for people who are griping about Zillow leads, or griping about these leads are no good, and then maybe offer to buy people's old leads. That's a real great opportunity. I think that those, even if to start re-engaging with those people and to start giving some valuable insight to them would be a really great thing.
That'd be so cool. I know you paid the retail price for those leads, but it didn't look like it worked out so well for you. So I'm going to pay, how about we pay you 20% of what you paid for that lead? And at least, hey, if I get something, I can...
Let's test it out. Give me 100 of your leads. I'll buy it. I'll give you $500, and let's see. I guarantee you there's deals in there. That's the thing.
Absolutely. And I think in a lot of the research that I've done at Echoes, and also, I've been a big fan of yours for many years, but the sweet spot is probably that 9 to 15 month lead.
Yeah.
It really seems to be that's the person who's probably most likely to actually do something in the next 90 days. It's not the person who just contacted you.
Right. That's exactly right.
Dean, thank you so much. Always
a
pleasure. You're a big deal. And just for those listening, if you want to know more about Dean, he's got a bunch of really great podcasts. One of my favorites is The Joy of Procrastination with Dan Sullivan. Dean. I
Yes.
just love listening to you guys on that one.
That's awesome.
And also more cheese, less whiskers. And now you've got the listing agent lifestyle. Is that what you said?
Yeah, listing agent lifestyle.
.com.
I'm super excited about that one because that's a whole philosophy, and you'll really love it.
Wow. So you've moved it. You've taken the thug life concept and brought it to
That's
listing
right.
agent lifestyle. All right, Dean.
Right.
Thank you so much. It's always a
Thanks,
pleasure
man.
to chat with you. Just stay on for a sec, Dean. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.